world of YouTube. Um, Had to do this disappearance. Of course, it's a strange disappearance. Once again, we have a person that ran off unexpectedly, just vanished without a trace. And I seen it came up on Reddit a few days ago, and I was just curious enough last night, said, let me tap on this, see what it's all about. Of course, the story is just as strange as any other story. This one, though, I believe, is more the supernatural than murder. Even though they think there might be some murder in this case. Due to the police department and stuff. And the story just goes on. It's just, throwing fingers and, mental breakdown was the most common thing spoken of this story. But I hope that this guy is found, let alone what was maybe controlling him. So the story is this guy was doing a movie set right in this area, New Pierce, Clearwater National Park. This is out in Idaho, mind you. See down there, Idaho. But, crazy enough, crazy as it seems, call me crazy, but you'll be surprised at the area that this is near. Well, you'll be surprised, I'm not. And when a person was there and witnesses his friend near a cliff, immediately jumps out of the car, runs to the cliff, thinking that he fell, and sees him running and sprinting like a rabbit at the bottom of a 15-foot drop. Now, whether or not this person could have, skipped down or ran down this partial cliff, or he literally just slid down, if it was a sloped type thing, whatever the case may be, he was at the bottom and he was hauling ass into the woods. Now that's what the guy said he claimed he saw. Had this gut feeling, bad feeling. Guy told another, person at the place, the guy that's missing, that he had to use the, had to take a leak. And to use the restrooms. Over by the cliff, though. Now, of course, everybody claims, and I'll say so just like everybody else that comes out, oh, they're never suicidal, never had this, always good-spirited. That leads me to go to say, this kid, face tells 1,000 words. Picture. He was on some painkillers, but they was prescribed. I don't think he was on any antidepressant medication. Painkillers and something else. Forget what it was, but it wasn't antidepressant. His sister called him a very highful, willful spirit person, and winning 2 awards, as you can see here. Why would he want to just disappear and have a nervous breakdown? Sounded like the kid had his head on his shoulders and was doing good. And here's the actual quote, unquote, of what his friend said he saw. So we're finishing up the day. Your son, he was speaking to his father now. And I was talking to one of the miners I guess they had miners in this area that was giving them history briefings. I was in one of the vehicles doing some work when your son told the miner he had to go and relieve himself. Something told me, kind of like a gut feeling, to look over near the cliff your son was at. When I looked over there, all I saw was the radio. Now, this is why I bring in supernatural. Because back in the day, and even today, you plug in one of them old transistor radios, and just like the story of Lost Boy Larry and the CB, ghosts have been known to come through transistor radio, CB, stuff like that. So it doesn't say what type of radio it was, but it says radio lying on the ground. I originally thought your son fell off the cliff, so I leaped out of the vehicle, ran over immediately. To my shock, your son was already 15 feet down the cliff, running like a hare. The guy, of course, said he's never seen anybody run that fast. At that point, I yelled at the crew to get a vehicle and go to the main road. Proceed down the cliff after your son, which it seems like maybe it was a cliff, like with a slope, led to a road, maybe to another slope, or whatever the case may be. And it says it right here, we proceed down the cliff. Your son, but he kept running due to my professional SAR training. I stopped running after out of fear he'd be further scared. So I went back to the top side. The crew hadn't found your son on the main road. At that point, we found the first house with a phone, reported your son missing. Local woman from Elk County said that it was the film crew. Sherry eventually corroborated the story that Simon told. A local law enforcement stated she was a very reliable witness. Terrance was reportedly acting strangely and was noticeably quiet. It is also reported that his cell phone was with him at the time he ran into the wilderness. Of course, there's a whole story on this, but this is the only interest that I got out of this. And running like a hare, or running immediately extremely fast, 15-foot cliff, only leads me to one thing that I can think of, other than him in fear, or maybe the crew, like they said, were ganging up on him. Something was not liked of his, and he just got depressed, ran off, or maybe someone was trying to kill him, or get a hold of him, or do something out of the unordinary that is extremely, don't get me wrong, everything counts, everything matters. And of course, the law enforcement not doing their job, getting back to the parents, it says in here, of giving anything of any information of today's, of being today. This happened in 2018, but we put all this to perspective. I respect all of it. There's some stuff in here that could be rightfully there, could be rightfully, the truth, and so forth. But what really gets me is, like I said, radio lying on the ground. Now, why would I say this? As we go to the forest way, take a look what's around it. Washington State, over here. Utah, over here. Nevada, here. All states. And all in relations to the Skinwalker. Navajo country. Nevada, Utah, Arizona, Colorado, thereforth. Of course, down there along the lines is Route 66. Do I explain the need to explain any more? No. There was a woman also in this article that came up missing 53 miles, but in the same forest. I'm sorry, but I always got to look at the landscape, and I always, especially when I got to listen to someone jumping 15 feet or hauling ass 15 feet down a cliff embankment and running like a madman. And that's what skinwalkers do. Just like the kids out in this area that come up missing. And they're up on high cliffs that are unreachable by man. And you think a 5-6-year-old gonna climb up there themselves? No. But I will be back on this to finish this up. So anyways, as I was saying, I had to stop for a moment to get the friggin' phone on a charger. I forgot I had a seminar tonight. But anyways, as you can clearly see, as I was saying about this case, Utah, Nevada, Colorado, Yellowstone National Forest, all this Native American land, and there is right here, if you look this up, prior to arrival, European and Mexican explorers, roughly 8,000 American Indians representing two distinct groups inhabited Idaho. Great Basin Shoshone and Bannock tribes of the Shoshone, Plateau tribes of the Corio Diane Lane, Nez Perce, and Kootenai. Yeah, I don't use that every time, all the time. But I wonder why I can't read it. But you look up the history of Idaho, there's a lot of stuff that went on in that state. And, but, you know, the mapping out is enough for me to even think, you know, this was all Native American land. Every time I look stuff up like this, I've always wanted to find out, you know, what is the problem, what happened. And to see this guy here running off into the woods for whatever reason, to me, I mean, it's got Native American. What was on the radio at that time? Like I said, the radio was a big key part. And if they use, you know, if you can use radios, and spirits used radios back in the day to communicate with them old transmitting, you know, devices, oh man, you're damn right, something must have scared the hell out of this guy. Like I say, that's what makes me think. Because 15 feet down, radio lying on the ground. That's the key thing here to me. And jumping 15 feet down a cliff, whether it be on like a slope or this way or whatever, he slid down, he's bat out of hell running like a son of a bitch. You got to make you wonder. So I mean, he disappeared October 5th, 2018. Now, this is one place I like to get out to stand around and check. But in my eyes, what was on that radio that spooked them? Something could have really spooked. Something could have told them run to the woods, or, you know, something spiritual. I'm thinking something spiritual. But if he ever does come up and it was due to mental health, well, hey, that's could be a thing too, but never underestimate the lay of the land right here, people. Never underestimate this. And I mean this whole area, over, down, this way. Doesn't even matter, up into Canada. But this area, you can see, man, that is one haunted place for people to be aware of. You're looking at the Navajo Skinwalker land throughout this whole region. Doesn't matter what was up there for Native Americans. Them Skinwalkers, for one, they travel. I'm about to wonder if that teleport thing in my dream was something. Like I said, I gotta get out to this spot in Western Mass. Check out some roadage. And then there's another thing in that dream I forgot to mention. But it was like an incline on a hill. So I don't know, stuff like this coming up, man, always got me thinking. And when I go into the deep of the, research of the land, it always comes back to the Skinwalker and the Native American land. And if they were just making a movie on it. But then again, no. You disrespect that land, gotta go take a leak. You disrespect the Native American sacred land. I mean, whatever they were doing, the spirit world didn't like it. Must have did something in the guy's radio, but if it is something mental health issue or he just cracked under pressure, hey, that's a thought too. But I always look up the lay of the land when I see stuff like this, and when a bizarre is happening like this, you can't deny the witnesses' accusations. Crazy stuff, man. And then the woman that disappeared, I forgot to bring her up in this article. I forgot the screenshot there, but I don't know. Can I get that up? Bear with me. Now my phone's gonna be stupid. Here we go. Come on. All I know is, man, this story is insane. Come on. Oh, I hate this. And that leads me to, always to believe. Oh my God. You're gonna piss me off. What is really out there? Oh, there she is right here. It's Connie Johnson's Strange Disappearances. Fog Mountain. And this, I'm going to look into this because of the region stuff. But I just want to show you what I'm going to be going over. And in October, she also too, October, working as a camp cook for Richie Outfitters. So I'm going to look into that. And of course the strange Terrance down here. Yep. What is out there? That's the only question I have. Till that next video, be safe, take care, always beware, and always believe. The supernatural's got a strange way of abducting you into the chaos of the afterlife. Out.